Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Friday, November 8th, 2024. Let's take a look at the charts. I'm going to go to the weekly chart and show, the fact that we are likely to settle today. This is a weekly chart. Today, the week itself above 278.55. That is a rising channel top that you find actually on the daily chart here at 280.45. So the two form, they're the same formation. One is on a different chart. The two form a range of support that can contain selling, really through the rest of the year, because above 278.55 to 280.45, with present volatility, this could be within 1 to 2 weeks. But with more restrained volatility that we've certainly seen, this could be 3 to 5 weeks, 318.93. I'll get to that in a moment. Overall, by the end of the year, I think this 336.28 formation is likely. So any dips, if you will, into the low 280s, upper 270s, this area should be considered buy opportunities if you're not long already. And you may consider, for instance, reaching for, 320 strike out of the money calls that don't expire for. I would go a couple of months out on that expiration on what could be a 2 to 3 week play, or 335 or 340 strike out of the money calls that don't expire for. I would go at least 4 months out on what could be a 1 to 2 month play. But either way, holding above 278.55 on this chart will keep 336.28 in reach over the next couple of months. And that is really the big picture. Now, on the way up, we do and still have 303.65, this rising channel top that was just above the 299.29 July 23 high. You can see that here. 303.65 can contain daily buying pressures. I say that ever so carefully, and once tested, and we did essentially test it yesterday. We rallied to within, I think, a dollar. I think it was it 300.30 yesterday? I'm going by memory. 303.65 today. So, do I expect 280.45 over the next few days below 303.65? No, I don't expect it, but I think you can play it if you're an aggressive trader and you've got pretty decent trade execution and risk management talent. You don't want to see the market push through and run above 303.65. Bottom line, if we close above 303.65, what I mentioned as kind of a 2 to 3 week objective at 318.93 may well be realized. Here we are by the end of next week, 319.68 on the daily chart. So your 303.65, if you can imagine, is probably right about here on the chart. And if we close above it today, by the end of next week or sooner, could be Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, 319.68 in reach, where we can top out. Well, I'm going to say it two ways. We can top out at 319.68 through the rest of November. And if you consider it, if you're a big picture sort of sweeping, near-term investor, and you trade the 2 to 3 month, 3 to 5 month time frames, you can consider 319.68 really the beginning of this wide, gradually narrowing zone of long-term resistance up to 337.20. That can absorb buying through the first quarter of next year and possibly well into 25. And so closing above 319.68, with present volatility, it's 3 to 5 days away. With the more restrained volatility, 1 to 2 weeks or so, with a settlement above 319.68. Either way, this is a gradually narrowing zone that can absorb buying on a longer term basis. I don't have a long-term objective mapped out yet if we close above it, but rest assured we will create one before we reach into that zone. And when I say create, I'm going to use the word identify. We will identify our next big picture objective if we were to close above 337.20 in the coming months, weeks, months, what have you. So 303.65 is our day resistance. It can contain daily buying pressures. And, as I say, it may contain buying into next week. And from here, we can fall back into the low 280s. On the way down today, I'm just going to use Wednesday's high of 289.59 as our intraday support. We could bottom out here on an intraday basis, possibly for the day, and above which 303.65 is likely today. 303.65 able to contain daily buying pressures. And if you're not long already, our next go with buy signal on strength would be a settlement above 303.65, then expecting 319.68, as I say, by the end of next week. So that's a healthy 15 to 20 point move if we close today above 303.65. Until then, you could allow the market to ease back into the upper 270s, the low 280s. The 280.45 is on the daily chart. And if we were to close below 280.45, actually, let me add 278.55, then I actually see a good November high. And we should fall back. I'm just eyeballing this right now. We don't have it mapped out yet. We're just waiting for the high to go in. But I'm going to say, and I'm looking to see if we did create one. We did not. Oh, yes, we did. Here we are. So if we close, I know we got 275.62. That is a gap low. We've reduced it to a minor point. It really is that weekly area at 278.55 to 280.45, 278.55 on the weekly chart. If, for whatever reason, we close below 278.55 today, and it is highly unlikely as bullish momentum is sort of enlivened, if you will, above 278.55. So if we close below 278.55, and that would obviously also be below 280.45 on the daily chart. I see 254.72 within a full week of trade, and there is the very real possibility of 228.31 within 3 to 5 weeks. And I think that is actually a good play. There's no certainty, obviously, that we would fall into the upper 220s if we close, today, for instance, below that 280.45 to 278.55 area. It's highly unlikely we will, but let's say that we wind up topping out at the 303.65 formation, as I say is possible, and we ease over the next few days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, into the upper 270s, low 280s, and then on Friday of next week, we close below the 278.55 channel top. We've got a good high through November, and I think you can then play the 228.31 channel bottom as a 3 to 5 week target. But not until then. Not until then. Until then, holding above the upper 270s once again, we are looking for this narrowing band of long-term resistance that is presently 318.93 to 336.28 and actually climbs a bit. I think this is in the lower 340s as we move into later year. Is there anything else to say? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. We'll put out 2 stock picks this week. DocuSign went out on Thursday. Earlier in the week, my mind is drawing a blank. I apologize. I should have this written down before I create these videos, but I'm not going to waste our time. Check us out at wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of that 5-day free trial. You can see everything that we produce, daily Triple Q, daily SPY, weekly Apple stock, and 2 stock picks a week. We're always looking for at least 20% moves, and we're in the 3 to 5 week to the 3 to 5 month time horizon, depending on your, whether you're kind of a near or longer term trader / investor. That is all I've got. I'll be back Sunday afternoon, of course, with Monday's Tesla report, and you have a great weekend.